Welcome back to Minding Our Businesses, where CEO
and COO sisters
share unfiltered conversation about running 3 companies together and the real life between it all. Kristina, we're so happy to have you on the podcast today.
I'm excited to be here.
We love you.
I know, I haven't seen you in so long.
It's been a long time.
That's because we're all in our era of babies and working hard and not being social.
Just living.
100% anti-social life.
I love that you share that with me. And I love that I can call you a friend and know that we don't have to see each other.
100%.
Love it. We don't have to
just
call
not.
each other.
The best friends.
It's an unspoken rule.
Those are the number one friends.
100%.
Like you don't ask anything of me. And
Yep.
even when you and I are like pretending we want to plan an event together, we're like,
Yep.
let's not.
100%.
Let's just not.
Yeah.
It's just real.
I hate events.
Not in this season.
I'm an event hater.
I actually think I just said that to Christina recently in an email. I was like, I think I hate events.
I
Like,
hate
think,
them.
I think we're done.
But I'm in the era of saying no to those things. I just like,
Yeah.
it's like if we don't want to do it, we're not doing it.
We're in our era of boundaries, Carly.
Boundaries. Boundaries,
Absolutely.
girls.
Absolutely.
We've made it to this point in our lives where we can do that.
You are an incredible entrepreneur, a mom, a wife. You're juggling it all beautifully. You have built everything from the ground up and bootstrapped everything with grit and hard work, which obviously is something I can personally relate to. You stay focused, you stay driven and, problem solving mindset constantly. I am honored to have you here, but I would also love for you to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your businesses. She's a entrepreneur, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I also feel like you never complain.
Ever.
I just feel like you don't.
I'm Greek. Actually, Greeks do complain
I actually
a lot.
love Greek people. All my
Greek.
friends from college are Greek.
But my father is very positive.
I love it.
Happiness is the only thing that matters in life. I grew up that way.
I love it. Breath of fresh air.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your brands and what you've created?
So, very high level story is I started as a wedding planner in Manhattan.
Yep.
We'll just start there. Hated my life, didn't know what I wanted to do, quit, started hosting in Manhattan, broke as a joke, couldn't even afford the bus.
Understood.
Miserable, luckily had a mom and dad to run back to and go live with them. Waitress, nanny, figure out who I am, what I want to do.
How old were you at the time of this?
22.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it in New York. Ran back home, trying to, find myself. Started a beverage company, Googled how to start a beverage company, had no idea what I was doing, did not really do any work on myself to that point in my life. And that one burned up pretty quickly, had a really great start, and then...
It was your university.
What'd you say?
It was your university.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the beverage
Absolutely.
company? I didn't know this part.
Tea.
Zeus, Greek iced tea.
Oh, the tea. Yeah.
It was a fabulous product. We actually did get into several retailers. I did not believe in myself. I didn't think I could do it on my own. Brought in a business partner, horrible fit, gave her 50% of the company, kind of. It was 3-4 years of blood, sweat, and tears, lots of everything I had to my name. That went under. Ended up at an event with the founder of the North Face, and he wrote a book called Failing Forward. Really took that to heart. Started again. No poor me, no victim. I just moved straight through it.
Never why me.
Yeah.
Never.
100%. Took all the lessons, learned a lot, started Boston Businesswomen just as a Facebook group. Have no idea what it was going to turn into.
I literally remember when you started it. I was one of the first people
Yeah.
that was a part of that group with you, and I was like, wow, this is
50
sick.
invites of just amazing women I knew in the city. I'm very much an introvert, love being at home,
Same.
but want to, connect with others building their businesses.
A
And
perfect scalable solution to being antisocial.
Absolutely. You
don't have to see each other.
Yes, 100%. It is a perfect networking situation for me. So 8 years later, 50,000 women, we've put on 2 very large conferences with celebrity speakers, and I'm definitely out of the conference business and very happy to do that. But we have about 1,700 women going through our formal membership programming, focusing on personal and professional development.
Amazing.
It's really meeting people where they are, not having to put on a mask. It's a different, the chamber events, those aren't for me. Putting on a suit and a name tag, that's not me. So yeah,
People do name tags anymore?
Apparently they do.
I feel like you have
so we're
to.
still
Like stickers,
hearing
they
that.
just ruin the outfit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
No.
And it's like, hello, my name is.
Although, yeah, I'm bad with remembering names too. But yeah, so that was doing well. I just truly loved it. It took, on a life of its own. It kind of happened very naturally. And at the time was also saying, I know so much about consumer goods now. I really should jump back into that market. So I've always been lip balm obsessed my whole life, and then was kind of horrified with what was out there on shelves today. The toxic ingredients, the addictive ingredients that are in a lot of the drugstore brands. So something fell on my lap in terms of like an argan oil distributor. We put a few samples together. It did really well in terms of like friends and family trying it and loving it. So we 8 years later are in 20,000 doors and JetBlue planes now and airports and Walgreens.
Yeah, JetBlue planes?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
A long time ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Stop and Shop
where do
Wegmans.
they have them on the planes to like purchase?
Yeah, they're mint. Well, not to purchase. They purchase from us
and then they give them to
their
you.
mint
Wow.
customers.
Incredible.
Yeah. So that has been a wild, wild ride. I much prefer virtual businesses.
It's funny. I think we'll probably get into it, but the discussion of like different types of businesses and like what it means to manage different types of businesses.
Yes.
Is
very, very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Coach Space.
And then there's Coach Space. My 3-year-old baby that I was in the middle of. I've never been more excited or passionate about an idea in my entire life. Like I was like, everything needs to halt in my life. I need to bring this into the world. In the middle of a fundraise, raised $500,000 at that point, and wanted to raise 10 million, wanted to have hundreds of employees, wanted to take over and disrupt this industry that feels like it was off the rails. Really, really big dreams. In the middle of that, got pregnant. My husband was diagnosed with cancer. Lots of things in life happening at the moment. I finally put that on halt, paused it, and just took a breather. So now we are 2 years later. I'm just starting to dip my toes back in.
Yeah.
But really the last 3 years have spent every week, every day, soul searching, doing there's different evolutions as a business owner. There's the hustle. There's I don't know how to pay my rent. I've got to figure this out. And then there's I have a good business. I can pay the bills. I can put away savings, whatever. So I am thankfully at a time in my life where I can kind of say, what do I want to do?
Right.
What brings me joy now?
Yeah, that's amazing.
You deserve that.
A different season.
I think one of the things that I love about you the most is, today we're talking about things we wish we knew along the journey, because as we all know, being an entrepreneur and being executives is about learning lessons along the way, hard lessons, and being able to roll with the punches and carry on. One thing I love about you and your content and your network is your vulnerability. I think you do a really good job of that with your content and like really saying like, this is what I'm feeling. This is not what I'm feeling. This is where I'm at today. I think one of your posts was like, I accept where I am.
Yeah.
Or something. I really liked that. And I think that's like one of the most important lessons is like, I am where I am.
Yeah, for sure.
I love where I am. But I think let's get into the topic too, because there's a lot to talk about today. Things we wish we knew along the journey. We all come to the table today and we all brought some lessons we had to learn that were tough. Or, just like hard hitting along the way. I think you could probably get us started on like one of yours if you'd like, on one of the biggest lessons you learned along the way. What would you say?
Yeah, I was going to just say really quickly what you were even speaking to. I started out with the fake it till you make it, with the like ultra filtered, like, not even being totally honest about what I'm putting out there. Not like showing a life that was not my reality at that time. It feels so awful to do that. You are so drained at the end of the day. It just, it's the imposter syndrome. It feels horrible to your core. I'm now doing it the opposite way, and it feels so refreshing. Like I'm actually enjoying social media now, and
I am too.
Being who I am.
Yeah, I get that. I like revolted against it for a little while because I was like, I want to be off the grid. I don't want to do this. I don't want to film content. I honestly don't care. about what people think about me. But then I was like, wait, I have a platform I could inspire, and also I can get inspired. And if I keep my feed positive and I remain vulnerable and organic, then I feel okay with it.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and actually we recently had to solve this week in one of our meetings where like I was going all hair focused on TikTok, and we all decided, the three of us together, we were like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we need to pivot. And I think maybe that's one of the lessons along the way is pivoting. Constant
Capital
pivoting.
P.
Never stop pivoting.
I don't think that ever goes away.
It never goes away.
Never.
So
pandemics, all kinds, all kinds of stuff
Literally.
being thrown at you. Motherhood, yeah.
It never stops. So what's one of your lessons? Tell me.
So one of the biggest, hardest ones that I'm still navigating is, at my very core, I'm a people pleaser. I love everyone. I want everyone to be happy, to be comfortable. I'm a Pisces. I'm an empath. Like I feel people's energy.
Same.
Even in a Zoom meeting. Like, so I guess my why or the legacy I want to leave behind or who I truly am wasn't as crystal clear back then. So I wasn't willing to have those uncomfortable conversations and, I don't know, kind of rock the boat a little to truly like stand for what I believed in. So, you know, employees, contractors, clients, whoever, like I wouldn't rock the boat, even if it wasn't being true to myself. And I don't know who said this to me or a book or whatever, but someone said you're only going to be as successful as the amount of uncomfortable conversations that you're willing to have.
I wonder if I'm wondering if that was
someone.
Radical Candor.
Possibly.
There's a really good book called Radical Candor, and it's about.
I don't know if I've read that, but
it's a
you'd
good
like
one.
it.
It's,
Okay.
You'd really like it. It's about not people pleasing, and like when you have like that, there's no time in business to not be radically candid and honest. You can be
Yes.
empathetic with your delivery, but if you can't be honest with the individual you're with or with yourself, then all you're doing is wasting time and energy, and it's such a
100%.
waste.
100%.
And I live by that too.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good lesson to share because, it's funny. That was actually a download I had this week because I was talking to someone about saying no to plans. It's a constant struggle that I have because I realize, or saying no to something that somebody's asking me to do, like,
Right.
could you take this photo for me? But it's not something I do anymore. Like, I realize that if I say yes to something I don't want to do, I'm actually pleasing them, but not pleasing myself.
Sure.
And that was a big download for me because
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, in that moment, I'm choosing somebody else over me.
Yeah.
Why would I do that? That's a weird thing.
Because you're not in the moment thinking about it. It's just like you're just acting on it. But something I wanted to piggyback off you is, it's funny, like in the history of time, like there's so many like extremes that you learn in your career where it's like you're either not honest enough or you're too honest.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or like you're
Yeah.
you're not letting go too much, or you're not letting go enough. Like where it's for me is like I kind of had the opposite where I would say too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I had to learn the lesson that like that's not always good either.
Yeah, sometimes it's classy
good
to like
point.
hold information. Too.
Yeah.
I think it's a trait of maturity.
Yeah.
To hold your tongue.
100% it is. And it's also really hard when you're like just a person speaking to another person being
Yeah.
like, this is something you could do better.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, who the hell gave me that role? Like, I don't even know. And then I had to like kind of get into that role and play in that role.
Well, it's ownership.
And be comfortable
Right.
in that role.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
And that's another lesson. Sleep on it. Personally,
we talk
and
about that a lot.
That's our favorite lesson.
Oh yeah.
I've learned it in both parts of my life. Like really, it is.
Yeah.
A good night's sleep is everything.
That's number one lesson,
Number one.
honestly. Because
100%.
if you're going to bed and you wake up and you're still thinking about it, then you know you need to say something or you feel it in your gut. But
Yeah.
then there's times where I wake up and I'm like, this is so dumb and not
Right.
a big deal.
Right.
Good lesson. I really love that.
But I think that the thing is about the nature of what we do, like the three of us, we're go-getters. You have to make quick decisions. There's not always a lot of time to make decisions too. So I think that what makes that challenging is the sleep on it requires a pause. That is something I constantly need to reteach myself and need to remind myself of. It's not something that I'm just always good at. Like sometimes I have to be like, do I need to say this right now? Do I need to send this text right now? Should this be an email? Could I put this in my notes, you
Right.
know? Or like, do I not need to say anything at all? Should I observe for 2 weeks and then decide it's an issue? And
It's so much more fun to think about it before you say it than to say it and then
It
regret
is.
it truthfully.
And then regret it, yeah.
I hate that. That's the worst.
It's true.
But it's a lesson that's okay because one of mine is that you're never going to be perfect, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Truthfully,
100%.
like
Progress over perfection.
Every single mistake I make, regardless of if it's a lesson or not, I'm grateful for it because I've learned from it. And if I haven't learned from it, I'll learn from it again.
Absolutely.
You'll learn it over and over again until you really learn it.
Correct.
Till it bangs you in the head
100%.
over and over
Yes.
and over and
Until
over
you're like,
again.
I am such an idiot. You've known this for so long. Come on.
I give you a lot of credit with that, though. I think you've come full circle with that concept and like really accepting that, because I think that it has to do with the first point, which is I'm glad you kind of like segued into that, because if you can accept that not everything's always going to be perfect, then you can wait, and you can
Totally.
pause.
And it's not an easy thing. Like when you first come in, especially someone who's coming to work for someone that's related to them, you're like, everything I'm going to do right now is going to be absolutely epic, so perfect. I'm going to be the best employee, blah, blah, blah. That's not how it happens.
No.
It's just not what happens.
Well, we're all human. We all have good days, bad days. And I think it's just about how you react.
I agree.
It's beautiful what you guys have. I feel like, I hope you guys
you.
reflect on
Thank you.
how special that is. My
Maybe we
sister
don't
worked with
reflect
me
that
for a
much.
week.
Really?
1 week. We lasted 7 days. Love her dearly, but we should not work together. And I feel like I need a Carly.
Yeah. No, Carly.
I'm still looking for my COO.
Carly is my life hack, honestly,
Yeah.
because she completes me. Carly is my life hack.
You guys
she
are
is.
so lucky.
But I have to give that back to Rachel, because a lot of business owners, I'm not saying everybody, like can have a big ego where they
For sure.
don't let me come in and do the things that I'm good at.
Yeah.
Rachel lets that down always, and we know our place. Like she lets me have power.
Yeah. And you can be honest
Correct.
with each other
Yeah,
and
correct.
love each other at the end of the day, no matter what.
Yes. I think one thing we did that was super beneficial is we defined our roles very clearly and like shook hands on it.
Yeah.
Like, and I like respect what she brings to the table. She respects what I bring to the table. And I think even if you're not siblings, as CEO and COO, that's all that really matters in that dual relationship,
Right.
and like where the emotion meets logic, and accepting each other and loving each other for what we
Yes.
are. Like I love that she's a bitch and she loves that I'm emotional.
Right.
And like
Right.
it's not, we don't fight on those things
Yes.
anymore.
My husband is my partner in Moroccan Magic, and he is the most amazing COO to
I'm
my
sure.
CEO.
I'm sure.
The trust is there, which is first
I
and
find
foremost.
that a lot of people have a hard time finding a COO that they feel
That's
like they can
definitely.
trust.
It is.
It just seems like a common theme.
Yes.
Well, because you need the person that's down to believe in the vision endlessly and wholeheartedly without maybe being like the owner,
forefront.
Yeah.
the owner. And like, you have to be okay with not always being in the spotlight. And like,
Right.
it's not that I'm like fiending for the spotlight, but it's just like,
It's your role.
it's my role to
two different skill
be-
sets.
it
And
is.
I do
Yeah.
not want that. Good job.
I
Pat
mean,
you
yeah,
on the
I don't
back.
always want it either.
I'm
but
happy over here.
That's another lesson. Crawl, walk, run. So I had the bad business partner relationship. It blew up in my face. I have my husband now who's amazing. Anyone now who I bring in at any capacity that's bigger than even an employee, like we're going to crawl together first. We're going to do a 2-week test, a 1 month, whatever, give you a few projects. How do we like working together? Do you vibe with our team?
Can we agree that we work together well?
Yes.
I like that.
I probably will be looking for a co-founder for Coach Space or, a COO one day. And like, we're going to date and then we're going to get engaged and then we're going to see if we want to get married. It's
that.
going to be a long, and
I love that.
It's good on both ends. So
I like
that
that.
was a hard lesson that
That
I've
is a hard lesson.
learned every which way.
I have a good one to segue out of that is that where I wrote it down here. Not everyone will feel as enthusiastic about your vision as you or agree with your vision.
100
For sure.
Because I think
million
like
thousand %.
as a visionary, I'm like hyped. I am fucking pumped up.
Yes.
Like I love my ideas and I'm ready to act on them.
Same.
And I need a team that's like either like, let's execute this way, or let's go, like let's do it, or let's not, But I will say, I think I'm referencing more to like teammates that didn't make it on my team.
Yeah.
Not like the people that are with me now. It was a hard lesson for me because I like people with my heart and my soul, and I give you my trust off the bat.
Right.
And when someone would be like out of the blue, I don't want to work here anymore. I used to take that so personally, and I used to think like, oh, it's it's me, or like my vision's not good, or like you could have those self-doubt creep in.
Sure.
But it's just not that. It's
Right.
it's not, everyone's in it for themselves.
Yeah, it's just those boundaries between personal and professional. Like, because I like your your crawl, walk, run, because that's how stages of business happen too.
Absolutely.
Whereas like, we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
We need time to get there.
Absolutely.
What is it? Infancy, adolescence, maturity.
So when we have employees who are on our team that like don't want to walk, crawl, whatever place.
Crawl, walk, run.
Whatever. I don't have a kid.
Run,
I don't have
crawl,
a kid.
run
I
a
don't have a kid,
marathon.
girls.
I don't think that has anything to do with having a kid.
You know what I mean? That don't want to come with us.
They crawl first, usually.
Shut up. Lay, crawl. If they don't want to come on the journey with us, then that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's acceptance. And it's like, if you're gonna be upset about that and like try to white knuckle a situation, it's not going to end well.
Absolutely.
So I think we all agree energy has to flow.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I think you get to a certain point where you realize nothing is personal. Nothing.
No,
we are
it's
all
not.
on different journeys with different lessons. We're supposed to show up for a reason, a season, whatever that saying is, a lifetime. Nothing is personal.
Well,
it's all
don't really
perfect.
know. It's all perfect as
Yeah.
it is. It's like that surrender. We talk about that a lot
Yes.
on this, is like, just surrender to what is and know that, like, I saw this, I think it was an Instagram reel last night, and it was like Eddie Murphy from a movie, and he was saying like the average person lives 75 years. Like, it's like such a blip of time that we're here. It's just like, it's okay. Like
Right.
all is well. Namaste.
All is well.
Everything is as it should be.
100%.
But I think when you're so in it and you're in the building stages, it can be really like emotionally attached.
Yes.
So it can be
Yes.
difficult.
Yeah, as an owner, you're putting and I heard your episode that it like is your DNA, like
Oh
your
my
biz.
God.
I have certain ideas or projects that I put out into the world. Like that's your art, right? It's so
Yes.
vulnerable.
Kristina, for I would say a solid, I want to say 7 years, I worked 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like,
At least.
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I worked every day of the week.
If there were 10, we would have worked 10.
I
Right.
never stopped. I'm just now able to pull back
Right.
a little, like now that I have children, and like take some time.
But did you love, when you were in that, did you love it?
I loved every
Yeah,
second of
same.
it. I didn't care.
Right.
I wasn't like, oh, I'm
Right.
working so much. No, I loved it.
I don't
took
think
a
we
shoot every
ever
day.
hated it.
That's why this whole like work-life balance thing is tricky, because we're all in different seasons. Now I'm a mom. I need more balance in my life for my, so I can survive.
Sanity.
Yeah, for my sanity. But back then, like if you have an idea and you're going to be go, 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 and you're going to put this amazing, beautiful thing out into the world, it's okay to go crazy. Like for me, that's fall. Like I go hard
I know,
in the
you
fall.
love fall. I love fall too.
I'm not allowed to talk about fall. For my sister, my best friend.
We accept you.
Not
You
yet.
can
I'm
talk
not.
about fall
September
here.
1st, I'm allowed. So this is a safe place.
Yeah, this is a
Why?
safe place.
You hate it that much? Or
No,
they
she
hate it?
loves it.
I just love it so much that
I love fall. The feelings it gives you is just
everything.
It's
food,
maybe
it's
you're a
Crisp,
witch,
comfort,
too.
it's boots, it's Salem.
big
everything.
free
Just-
people sweaters,
No humidity.
platform
just-
shoes.
It's for me.
That's why I got married in October.
I
couldn't
got
be a
married in
humid-
November.
I couldn't be a humid bride.
Yeah, no. I was like borderline snow. Like
LOL.
it snowed the day after
What up,
my wedding.
February in Florida?
Yeah. But summer, I don't want to work much.
I get
I'm
that.
taking Fridays off. Like
I get that.
but in my 20s, whatever, when I was figuring it out, it's okay to work 7 days a week. Like, don't make that wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even now, there's going to be
I think it's a graduation though.
Ebbs and flows.
I think it's the working smart, not hard
For sure.
kind of vibe. Like, but you have to earn that.
Yeah.
Like now I'm able to segment my schedule so strategically. I'm still able to get as much done as I ever did, but in a shorter amount of time
Right.
because I've learned how to do that.
Yes.
But that's a skill set. Like you have to graduate to it.
That's wisdom you have to learn over the years.
100%.
Yeah.
That's being a master at
Right.
being a CEO. Like
For sure.
that just means I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
now.
But you're putting a lot of self-work and able to do that. I think people think now they're just like, I want to work from home.
I want to work less.
I want to not work.
Right.
I want to watch TV as I'm writing this email.
Right.
And that's okay too. Like no shame on that at all. But everybody's on such a different path.
Yeah.
Like I think not everyone's able to also do what we're doing right now.
Well, I think I see like a lot of content too, where it's like X out hustle culture. Like I'm not like,
Right. I like the hustle sometimes. It
I
feeds
like
my
it.
soul.
Me too. It does
Yeah.
feed my soul. And honestly,
What does that even mean?
I think people are trying, like, since COVID, I think they're saying
Slow down.
like all these things. But I think the thing is, it's like, it depends where you want to be and what kind of lifestyle you want to have.
Right.
For me, I know the lifestyle I want to have. Like, I want to have a cape house. I want to have freedom financially. I want to have this motivates me.
Right.
I want to have certain things for my children. So I know I want to work. And and also I like to work. I like both, but you can't really have the slowdown without the hustle first, in my personal
I agree.
experience.
Yeah, that's been my experience.
It's just the way I've seen it.
Right.
It's like you got to go through it.
And there's
then-
beautiful lessons in that time too.
God. Hello.
Yeah.
We're here.
Right.
Talking about
100%.
them.
Yeah.
Going
circle
back
moment.
to the people thing, obviously all of us have had to fire people and like end relationships and for whether it's like with a conference.
Those tough conversations I avoided and kept the wrong people on for way too long. Yes.
I wrote down as in how things end is as important as how things begin.
Like Jennifer Aniston said about her divorce to Brad Pitt.
What did she say?
I'll always remember that.
What'd she say?
Did she say that?
Yeah, she said
I love her.
we left our relationship as beautifully as we entered it.
That's a beautiful thing to say about a divorce.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Any divorce, any ending. Like I feel
any ending.
Beautiful.
I had to learn that though, because like there were people that triggered my fucking soul on fire when they were like, I'm leaving. And there are people I yelled in their face. There are people I was purple. There are people who think I'm an asshole, but we all evolve.
Sure.
And it's like,
But there's boundaries crossed in those situations too, where it got too personal, I think.
oh, where people made me see red. Definitely. 100%.
No. I'm saying like they asked for a lot of personal things in your workplace. They didn't understand the boundary.
I don't know. Can you elaborate?
Like we did personal things with them. Like we were more like
we
family.
did a lot for them, so we felt connected.
Correct.
Yeah,
and I
understood.
think there needs to be boundaries in business in that way. The relationship needs to be different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just like to that point of like ending things, it's just that's where the pause comes in, and like the 2-2-2 we always talk about, where it's like a conversation that ends something is always going to be how it ended. And then it will be a longer period of time where it's over.
Right.
And then the shorter period of time where it's ending or where you were together. So like, how do you want to be remembered from the situation is something I had to learn the hard way. And it's a classy lesson too. Cause like, I don't want anyone to have a bad taste in their mouth over me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a business owner, if you're hiring people, like no, not every person's going to love you. Boston businesswomen, 50,000 women. I say what's on my mind and my heart. Like I have a lot of people who don't
But you should.
love me or agree with me.
But you should though.
Yeah. Which
it's your
I don't
platform.
care anymore. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I did in the beginning, and I would go back into those comments and go back and forth all night. But it's just, I'm very much in there's nothing to take personally. Like anyone you come across, like it's divine. Like you're supposed to meet in this lifetime. You're supposed
Divinely
to learn.
timed.
Yeah. And I think even like the hard endings, there's so much beauty in it. Those are where the lessons are, in those hard times. So avoiding those, you're missing out on so much.
They will come.
They're necessary, truthfully, and you learn so much from them, but also like they're not meant to be here. Right. So they're causing more issues than not. So I think not everyone, a lesson that I've learned is just meant to be at your company. Yeah. It's so personal to me because I love it. And I'm happy and I like my role, but that's not true for everybody. And that's okay.
It's probably not right for them either. So
Correct.
You're both doing each other a favor.
And
absolutely.
And I think I know that not everyone's going to like me, and that's totally fine. I think
I wrote that one. You won't be everyone's cup of tea.
For sure.
What more I want in those situations, just I can hold my reaction, but it's tough sometimes. Sometimes people really test you when they're leaving in those moments.
You also have to be able to learn. Like Carly, you were a really young COO who came in and I gave you full power and like you were bold. Some people didn't like that and they were, but I had to be loyal to the COO and your word. And then you had to have time to grow and learn. Same. But like, it's okay if you're not someone's cup of tea.
Right.
And I think that that's fine.
I mean, the people who don't like you, including if I didn't like someone or was triggered by someone over the years, like you're either triggered by someone or you want something that they're not willing to give you. And I think you need to learn how to give it to yourself.
I agree.
Oh, wow.
Mic drop.
Wow.
Couldn't agree more.
Wow. Let's revisit that. Say that again.
I don't know if I could say that again.
That was so, I don't even know
She's saying
what you
basically you want something from someone, but it's like, get it yourself. You don't need to get it.
Give it to yourself first.
I think it's like that theme of like if somebody says something to you, usually it's a reflect. If somebody's talking shit about someone or saying you're mirroring what is happening and projecting what's happening in your life.
100%.
And that is such a reflecting thing.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I love that. It's a very meditative thought. Honestly, because like
it's all beautiful.
It is. It's all.
Do you meditate a lot?
It's letting go.
Yeah. So I've been on a deep 15-year journey, but I've been working with, a spiritual master, if you will, after dealing with some of the things I've dealt with, and a company going under, husband, being sick. So I meet with him every week. Like
being sick, but healing currently.
Healing. Yeah, I shouldn't even put that
That's
out
why
into the universe.
I just cleared that for you.
I appreciate that.
We are healing. We're on our journey and we're on the way out of the situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's all been beautiful. But I think like the new philosophy And I study it in every moment and every day, like every minute of every day.
It's a practice.
Yeah. It's a whole long thing that I feel like this is my life's work that I have a lot of fun projects that I'm doing, but it might not come out for 5 years because I'm doing it at my own pace now. Like there's not, in a lot of the courses that I teach, I'm doing the Success Academy. It's like a 5-month program. It's like going to business school. It's everything that you don't learn in business school. It's like the hands-on approach. But what I say to people is like, what season are you in? You have to be really honest with yourself about that. There's some moms who have young kids. Like, how many hours do you actually have in a day to do what you want to do? And what do you, like, draw a mountain on a piece of paper? Like, do you want to go straight up to the top, or do you want to spend a summer in Europe? Do you want to meet your husband? Or wife or whatever? So it's all about a balance and a journey. But this whole, like, my ego built Coach Space. Like, it was very clear. Like,
we are so aligned. I literally wrote, ego gets in the way of being a great CEO.
God, yeah, that's probably the biggest one. Like, no one is like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do a deep dive into my soul, like get to know my faults and my, weaknesses and all that stuff. But like, the more business owners, the deeper they go with the work that they do on themselves, the better their business, everyone in their space is going to be. But it went off the rails, like Coach Space, because it was so ego driven. It was so money driven. It was so many things that I am now not. And I don't know, there's so many lessons that I've learned, but it's really, how do I put this without fully, like, not everyone's going to be ready to hear this type of stuff, but we all have, whether it's source, universe, God, whatever you believe in, like, we all have like a higher connection that we can be guided to. Like,
we can tap into.
Yeah. We're spirit guides, whatever people call them. Like, we're not in this alone.
Definitely not.
Yeah. And I feel like when ego gets out of the way, when personality gets out of the way, when you move slow enough, that is when you're guided to like truly living out your soul's purpose.
Detaching.
And like, what you're detached to everything. Yep. So I'm really like, I'm going to build my businesses and live my life by this guidance. So I move really slow now, which is like really new for me.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm more at peace and happier than I've ever been. And it's not about the money or the outside things. And I will say, for the first time in my life, because that's what it was about. Yeah.
That's what it is. You're able to look at the plane and say, what do I want the future to look like? I think that's maturity.
Yeah. That doesn't create happiness, like bringing all those things into your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's billionaires out there who are miserable and more antidepressants than,
absolutely.
So people get, it's social media. Like, we're steered the wrong way, I think. And when you move slow enough to listen to your intuition and that guidance, that is what's going to guide you to where you're truly supposed to be, not where your ego wants you to go.
Yeah.
So that's been a big one for me.
We talk a lot about ego being like ego equals identity. And like that, I think we went really deep on this on a different episode, but it's like how ego is known as like a negative thing, and it's really just about like how you identify with yourself. And I think it's a hard hitting lesson you have to hear 7 times before it downloads. Like, are you able to detach from who you thought you wanted to be and let go and surrender to something else?
Yeah.
And I think you really probably had to let your ego down in order to disassociate and not identify or attach yourself anymore to Coach Space and say, this is not, I did this incorrectly.
Right.
Another hard lesson to learn, but that's leading you to a new path that's more successful and another pivot.
Yeah. I think an ego is a protector. It's like a false sense of
absolutely.
self. And
a shield.
Yeah, it's a shield because your ego can speak really loud, or even like anger, certain things, like those are protectors when like the people who are able to be vulnerable and like break through from that, that's when the real power comes in.
Yes.
And I think I've only fully come into my real power. Even when we used to meet years ago, you're like, oh, you're so like, like timid, like, just,
timid.
I don't like you.
Did you say that?
No, those weren't your words. And it was probably me projecting, walking into your space. And like, you took my first headshots and made me feel like a rock star, but I didn't believe that about myself back then.
Interesting.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Well, what's funny is A, I don't remember saying that, but B, I never thought that of you.
Yeah. So see, that was my own shit.
Yeah,
And
it was.
Our imaginations do wild, wild things.
Oh, they can make you run.
Yeah,
They
and
can
it's not
go.
even based in reality.
Well,
But
going
that's
back
how we
to
create
the-
our reality through our imagination.
Absolutely. And I think going back to the question Carly asked you is, do you meditate? Is to me.
Oh yeah, that's what I.
Well, no, I think I know it's great. I loved everything you just said. I think that the point about meditation is it can look however you want it to look. There's no right or wrong way.
Right.
And also it's about carving out that time when you talk about like, do you want it to be a climb? Do you want it to be a direct shot?
Right.
You know, like we talk about that with our agency clients. Like, do you want to sell? Do you want to exit in 5 years? Do
Right.
you want to have a slow roll? Do you just want to keep the company and make a profit and have a salary? Like you have to know, what you want
Right.
when you are doing the actions.
Right.
And like it
Right.
could be different for every type of business. But in order to do these things well, whether you are like a hustling professional or a mom or a CEO or whatever the things are, you must gain clarity.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it
100%.
comes down to.
Yes.
And that's why I have to kind of lean on the side of antisocial. And a majority of my friends are in New York because I need me time.
Right.
I need time to get clear.
100%.
That's what I'm doing.
Right. Right.
All the time.
Right.
The clarity comes from slowing down and happiness too.
Yes.
Because even when you're, I think people think clarity is like you're sitting down, and I think it does mean this, but like you're like writing all of these things down. But I do think it comes from, because I think I waver in between. I don't think I'm there yet, but I think I waver in between like understanding where my ego is and understanding where like my higher self is guiding me.
Sure.
Ooh, good
I guess.
language. Yes.
I guess that makes sense. Like
I don't know if any of you saw
What was
that.
it?
But I got the chills, but I didn't see it. I felt it.
what was it?
It was a
Someone
monarch butterfly, which is my Greek grandmother. That's how she comes in. That was very crazy. That was
Chills. So it's funny because
That's
I
my
saw
sign
it, but
that,
didn't
like-
see it and felt it. Someone entered the
Do you
room.
is this a place that monarch? But we're in like
No,
a.
I've never seen a butterfly out the window ever.
Oh, I might get emotional.
Understood.
You're so cute.
very
Okay, you're
special.
supposed to be here.
Yes. Well, blessings. We're supposed to be having this conversation.
Thank you. Yaya's here with us.
Yaya.
Yaya.
What up, Yaya?
I bet she's awesome.
What up, Yaya? We
The
love
best.
you, honey. She's probably the cutest.
She was.
I bet she
Maybe
cooks
she's part
well.
of my higher self.
She's watching over you.
The higher self is one of the most important statements. And I oftentimes forget to say the words higher self. And then I come back to it and I'm like, what does my higher self think? What does my higher self want? What do I want?
Yeah.
The check-in with yourself, you know, and I think
What do you really, really want?
And
Not
really,
your
what do you
ego,
not
not your
want?
company, not
Exactly.
the people in your life, not
Yes.
social media you're
Yes.
following.
what
Yeah.
feels good to you?
But that
sure.
feels happy. Like I think I said this to you and Lauren the other day when we were in our quarterly, and I was like, I'm just feeling happy.
Yeah.
Just because like I feel like I'm ingesting small moments that I would have like kind of coasted over before. And I think that when you tap into your higher self, even if it's just for a second,
Tap in.
even if it's for a second, it's like a release.
Oh yeah.
What?
I just sang Sweetie song.
Shut up.
Tap, tap, tap in.
I'm talking about my higher self. Could you STF
No, I'm saying
you?
you're tapping.
My higher self is telling you to shut the fuck up.
Do you guys listen to Abraham Hicks?
No, but I will.
No.
What?
What
I
is
listen
that?
to one podcast and one podcast only.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
is it good? I'll write it.
Abraham Hicks is the godmother of law of attraction. It is. I probably wouldn't be here today if I had not found Abraham Hicks.
Really?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I listen to really weird shit on my podcast.
Oren and Daben.
I only listen to Ram Dass.
Okay.
Be Here Now.
Love Ram Dass.
That's the only podcast I listen to.
Okay.
And because there's like 200 episodes and I just keep replaying them.
Yeah.
But it's about surrendering, ego.
His podcast
Beautiful.
is good.
He's amazing.
I-
I hate his first
attaching.
part of the podcast.
I
but
use Abraham Hicks YouTube as my Bible. So
Nice.
like
Good to know.
I'll listen to it.
it's like whatever you're going through in life, you know, breakup, cancer, ego, depression, anything. Just Google it.
weight loss plateau.
That is, yeah. I can't. Oh
Harley,
my God, I can't. I'm so
stop.
shocked. I thought you got, weight loss. I'm
Plateau.
not where I would like to be, and I don't know why I'm
What?
holding
Like
on to
literally
things.
what?
I look 5 months pregnant, and I know
What?
that. No, I do. When I stand up, I have the diastasis
If you look 5 months
recti.
pregnant, then
Come
I'm
on,
leaving.
Kristina.
This
No,
whole
no,
world.
no. But I'm not. It's not a bad thing anymore. There is certain trauma that I'm holding here because of my birth. I think. Like
It's
I've
just
done.
not true though. That's the thing.
Why?
Like couldn't be like less true.
Well,
I mean,
appreciate
listen,
that, but
I'm
for
not
my
one to-
body and how I know myself.
Understood. I
I'm
won't
not
take that
one
away from you.
To blow smoke or fluff. Like if I get it. Like if you're not where you want to be.
No,
But
but you know, it's your abs can
Yeah, yes,
separate in birth,
yes.
so I have that going on.
What is it called?
Diastasis. I never say it right.
Look up stomach vacuums on TikTok.
Stomach vacuums.
Get back to me.
Boy.
That's
You need
really helping
honestly,
me.
you need a TikTok. Sorry.
You're dumb.
Sorry, you're dumb.
God.
We said
Dumb
you're dumb.
and wrong. TikTok.
You'd love it. It's like fast information.
I know I love it, but it's that happiness. It's like, do I want to be lying in my backyard in the grass or watching TikTok?
I do both.
Really?
Oh my God. I'm literally constantly laying
It's not
in my grass.
like negative too. Like I'm sure there's some crap on there that is,
Yeah.
but like
It's the complete opposite
Yeah.
of Instagram. I don't even use Instagram.
I kind of hate Instagram.
I
Really?
absolutely hate Instagram. I'm not even on it. I'm not on Facebook. What? No. I mean
getting
it.
yelled at.
I mean it. I have
Marketing
catered,
manager call out.
I've catered my Instagram to be only positive content. But for a long time, Instagram was a place for people to show the perfect side of their
Yeah.
life, and I was sick of it.
And is TikTok not?
Yeah, I don't like to consume.
It depends
that.
what your feed is. Like I
Those-
get all healthy recipes and workouts
Okay.
and like
I think Instagram's
business
following
Shopify
suit.
hacks. Like that's what I have.
I have ADHD, and the very fast clips of video like is too overstimulating for me.
Lauren can handle it.
I understand.
Most entrepreneurs do.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
No, the thing is about Instagram, just to backtrack, I think we do a good job of making our content authentic and real.
I enjoy watching what
Thank
you put out.
That means a
Yeah.
lot. Having a good message that like actually delivers something. But I think
Yeah.
a lot of the times it's self-serving. And the reason I like TikTok is because
Egos like
it's,
TikTok.
it's no gatekeeping
Yeah.
on TikTok. And it's
I-
all about giving.
Yeah, I actually took off the followers or whatever. Like you can change on your settings, like do you care how many likes you get or whatever. So it can go to others or like actually a number. So I turned all of my companies and myself off
Smart.
because I want to put out there what feels good and I don't want to give a shit about.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing for Rachel right now.
Yeah, it's important.
Putting out what feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was a big pivot because like on TikTok algorithm, it's like they like one thing.
Yeah.
And like I have 54,000 followers on TikTok and we were like hyped on that. So my
Yeah.
ego is like, we need to keep it going.
Sure.
We need to keep Sleepy Tie going, da da da.
Right.
But then I was like, wait, like I am not like a hair influencer. I don't want to be.
I see what you're saying. So you're pivoting.
I'm pivoting.
Yeah.
So like, but I did it with my team and they were reflective with me. We
Yeah.
came up with concepts each week they want me to film so I can like,
Nice.
I have a to-do list and I do it. And honestly, it was our first week doing it and it felt great. But I agree with you on like, it's the pivoting, it's the clarity, the
Yeah.
recognition on what doesn't feel good.
Like most of my friends have left social media altogether completely.
Understood.
And I'm like, oh, that must be so nice. Like,
Well, I mean, you do need it for business.
I love
believe-
it and I enjoy it. Yeah, but Boston Businesswomen, our Facebook group is our business. Like I love social media. It's made me who I am.
Yeah, but also your Facebook group, like when I was just starting out and I had a brick and mortar, was a place I relied upon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, like actually to get the word out about things we were doing.
Absolutely.
Like in meetings,
Yeah.
we would have like a new special and it was part of the plan to launch it in Boston Businesswomen.
Amazing.
And like I really
Music
mean
to
that.
my ears.
You
Yeah.
were part of the reason that we were able to get eyes on our business and because of what you had created. So it's like, it's that constant push and pull
Yeah.
of it all. But I think what you created with Boston Businesswomen is super important and also gives people a platform of community. And I think that people are lacking that, especially with this work from home energy.
right.
They need other women
Yeah.
to collaborate with,
Right.
and to get business
Right.
and get their name out there.
Yeah.
That's big power.
It's a weird, it's become something much bigger than me. Again, taking ego out of it. Like it's really like we get crazy messages. Like I was going to move out of Massachusetts. I was so lonely. And then I found your community and joined the group and I have found my
That's
people
amazing.
and I'm here 3 years later. So it's really,
beautiful.
really, women coming together. Like there's nothing more magical or beautiful than that.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Going back to the lessons, I think one of the things on the topic of social media is that we can just be who we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be who we're expected to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't always need to be the same person along the journey. We change, we evolve. As the
Right.
information changes, we're changing.
Right.
So I think that that's something that's given us freedom. Like I used to think like it has to be this way. Once I make a decision, it has to go this way. It has
Right.
to go exactly as I want it to go. And it just doesn't, and I think
Right.
you've, like we talked about that, done a really good job of like kind of changing content over time. And that's a big responsibility on that topic of 50,000 plus members. You have a lot of eyes
Right.
and a lot of ears on the things you're
lot of
putting out
people.
there. That's a big deal.
Yeah. I think there's two things. One, you have an aunt or something who doesn't like swearing, so I apologize in advance.
Oh no, it's
I
Carol.
love it. You're really
Carol. She really listens.
I listen.
I've been
My
swearing this whole time.
My mom's friend's mom. She doesn't like
love
us
it.
I
swear.
like to
love
swear,
her.
honestly.
I do too.
Sorry,
Swear,
Carol.
You know, and I swear in my, I am true to who I am. So I do that in our newsletters and on my posts. And some people send us hate mail
Brand
and
voice.
leave. And like,
Brand
No,
voice.
I love when you're
Oh,
going
we got
against
hate
the
mail
grain.
for this shoot right here that we showed nipples. Yeah, that we
Yeah.
showed nipples.
and you're doing something right.
I was
You're creating some sort of,
Buzz.
Yeah.
When you go to bed, do you wear a bra? No.
No.
So your nipples are out. I thought it was authentic.
no, I love it. Women's
Nipples
bodies
are
beautiful.
authentic.
This is why I'm like, I grew up going to the Greek islands and every summer, 3 months every summer, very blessed in that way. My dad owned a dry cleaning business. My uncle ran it in the summers. I loved being in Europe because they love their bodies there. They're naked on the beach. There's
Yeah.
no shame.
Celebration.
Ugh, I have such a hard time
They
with
also
like
eat the
America.
best food ever.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
clean.
A
It's
quote to
true.
pull from this. I have a hard time with America.
For many reasons. But that's another podcast.
If you've lived in Europe for a period of time, then it makes sense.
It's just so freeing, and your sexuality is beautiful, and it's just I have a really hard time with the way America does it.
Well, that's actually another point, though. Like, one of my mentors once told me that I need to take something called a clarity trip 8 times a year. He used to assign it to me. And everyone used to laugh, but it actually was because a visionary's mind needs to be clear.
100%.
And when COVID hit and I couldn't go and I couldn't do the things that I do, I had to go deeper into meditation so I could have more clarity. But
Yeah.
I will say that was a hard lesson learned along the way, is for me, we talked about work-life balance. It's my personal belief that actually doesn't exist.
Right.
It's just being strategic with your schedule and what you spend your time on.
Right.
Because
What are your priorities?
What are your priorities?
Right.
I don't ever have. I'm never not really working. I'm always available for a
Right.
call or a conversation
Right.
or a what if. Or how should this happen? But it's just more about loving what I do so that when it interrupts something else I'm doing,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt my heart as much, you know?
100%. Yeah.
I
But
don't
going
know.
back to what I was going to say, your aunt or your mom's friend.
Yes. You're good about going back, by the way. That's a nice skill.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yeah. Focused.
I'm learning to be focused. I don't like to take medication for ADHD, so I've learned different things.
Tactics in your head.
No, but I was saying I have a course called Fuck the Algorithm, because that has been my biggest lesson in social media. Not the followers, not the numbers, nothing. Not using social media as a way to sell, but as a way to give the things I want to put out there into the world, teach, inspire, whatever. But I really don't pay attention to the algorithm, how many times you're supposed to post, nothing like that. And when I just show up, when I have something to say, it's like the butterfly flying through here when we're having a good conversation. It's just when you have something important to share.
11:11.
Really? Stop.
I looked down as you said
Wow.
butterfly. 11:11.
11:11 follows me.
Something's going on. Something's in retrograde or something. There's many things going on.
Oh,
but
Lord.
I know, and I could talk about.
New moon.
Is it a new moon? Yeah. And
Finish your thought. I want to hear what you were saying.
oh, what was I saying? Yeah, it's all about synergy. And so when you slow down, when you follow the intuition, when you get a hit of inspiration, share it with the world. And who cares what time of day or night it is? Who's meant to see that message?
Authenticity.
We'll see it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's why I enjoy social media now, and it's not a job anymore.
Well, I also think it's what do you going back to what's your goal? I have 17,300 followers, and that needle doesn't move much on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I used to be upset about that. I was why is it so much easier for some people? That was my ego talking.
Right.
But when actually you look at the community
Yeah.
that I have as an Instagram following, they're all very local, targeted,
Yeah, it's
real
beautiful.
people.
Right.
And that's actually more beneficial than anything else. So it's
Yeah.
sort of I make the rules.
Right.
I don't need 156,000 fluff followers.
100%.
I don't need that. I don't
Right.
want it. It's not my goal.
Yeah.
I want to touch the people I need to touch.
Right.
And I want to touch people and I want to be real, you know? And so
Right.
like, I'm not going to be a follower chaser. I'm not going to buy followers.
Right.
And anyways, you can see when someone bought followers because
100%.
their engagement is down.
Yes.
And
I
they
have 5
a
million followers, but
I have 1 like.
Correct.
It's like, come on,
Yeah.
we see you.
Yes.
Like, it's over.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And that probably doesn't feel good either. You know, it's that ego running
it's
the
sad.
show. Yeah.
That's a display of what they're feeling internally.
Right.
They need validation
Right.
through a number.
Right.
And that's why I have not verified myself with the.
I haven't either.
I really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I
That's
won't do
amazing.
it.
I'm so glad.
Fight the system.
I am fighting the system because I will say I do maybe crave the perks of like support.
Right,
Like
right.
it would be really nice
Yeah.
to like
It
know that
probably
my
would be
account's
good for
secure.
business. Yeah, that's
it
true.
probably would be smart, but
Right.
like I am not buying a
But
blue
also,
check
like,
mark.
you have 2 daughters, and I think about if 16-year-old Kristina had social media, God, that would have been really, really hard.
Mike and I just talked about this. We were like, when are they going? Because Matthew
That's gonna be
McConaughey's
so
son
hard.
just got social media at 16, and his
Good.
reasoning, I really like his messaging, like
Yeah.
with green lights and stuff. But he was like, my son finally knows who he is as a person. So now that he has his
Beautiful.
foundation,
Yeah.
I will allow him to soak in information.
I love him.
From social media.
So hot. Also.
But until they know who they are, they should not be on social
Yeah,
media.
I couldn't agree more.
I mean, that's my personal.
Yeah.
I'm not projecting to anyone. It's
Yeah.
just my opinion.
I couldn't agree more.
Wow, ladies, we covered a lot.
Except for when Lily's like, I'm getting an Instagram.
She's absolutely
She's
not.
gonna have a burner phone.
Absolutely not.
She'll find. Auntie will give her a phone.
Any other lessons we didn't cover that we want to talk about?
The only thing I said is don't always give in to shiny objects.
That's a good one.
A big one because I think people can see numbers or see opportunity and go
Yeah.
right for it, but I don't always think that's the smart route.
I don't know if everyone might know what you mean, and I'll just kind of explain.
You
it
explain for
a
me,
little bit.
Rachel.
A shiny object is like, I think in reference to like a really nice new car. You know, like it's like enticing. It's dangling in front of your face. It's shiny. It's beautiful. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want it. I
Yeah.
need it. I can have it. Da, 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 da.
Or opportunities that seem like really like profitable.
I think that's the metaphor of
Yeah.
it. Like, oh, like
Don't
a
just say
low hanging
yes.
fruit
Yeah.
money wise, like low hanging fruit financially usually ends up to a block to big hanging fruit in the future.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, just don't say yes to every opportunity just because it could have financial gain or
Yeah.
like you think that could be your ego talking.
Right.
Is the
Sure.
shiny objects.
Yeah.
I just choose to always be a little bit more cautious
Yeah.
than not.
I think conservative business is smart business.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because like you might be able to afford something doesn't mean you should.
right. And focus. You have to focus. You can't do all the things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Targeted. I think that the 3 of us have just done a good job of the slow build. You know,
Yeah.
like I see
Not
a lot.
the overnight success. There is no
There
such
is
thing.
none. We know that.
Right.
I mean, listen, if somebody goes viral on TikTok overnight now, I guess there is some versions
For
of
sure.
it. But the problem with that is then you have to backstep and learn the other things you didn't learn along
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
So it's not like,
and that doesn't last forever.
and I
Right.
see that
Build
a lot.
strong foundation.
I see a lot of people
Yeah.
now like buying the blue check mark, showing that they like want, and listen, it's fine. It's, if you want to like put yourself out there and validate yourself, like it's okay. If you bought that check mark, we're not shitting on you. That's not it. It's just me personally, that's not the path
Yeah.
I'm choosing.
Everyone is on a different path, and that's the beauty of it. There is there's nothing to compare yourself to.
There isn't, but
Yeah.
it's also like, are you asking yourself, why are you doing that?
Right,
Like,
right.
why do you feel like you need to do that? Is it because you want to build a following? Is
Yeah.
it because like, what's the goal? I think just know the why.
I think that's what society has made cool though.
Well, that's I think the point about the social media and like the kids
Yeah.
and all those things and like what you see. I saw this very hard hitting visual the other day. It was an apple looking in the mirror, and the other side of the apple, like you could see the reflection of the apple, and then you could also see the backside, but the reflection, you couldn't see it. So the backside of the apple was bitten into and rotten. And the front side of the apple that you could see in the reflection was perfect and shiny and beautiful. And that
That's social media in a
was
nutshell.
social media in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's what it was saying. Is like,
Yeah.
you just don't see it all. And like shiny object wise, going back to that is, you know, you can't just want something because of how it might make you look in that way.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's not a healthy way to serve yourself and your higher self.
For sure.
Definitely much harder than it used to with social media.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
the comparing is at an all-time high.
Yeah. And someone I work with says, he always says this one liner, success with stress is bondage. And I feel like I've learned.
Let that settle in, people.
You can have massive success and be like I grew up in Newton. Like I know some big shots,
Yeah.
like doing big things. And when I go out and see that, like, oh, they just closed a $50 million round and doing this thing, I'm like, that is so beautiful. And there are many people in this world who are meant to do that. And thankfully, before building a business like that, I realized that that's not for me. And I want to be able to take the Fridays off. I want to go to Greece for summer if I want to. I want to take a sabbatical for a year if I want to.
Yeah.
And I've built businesses both ways. So I guess anyone listening who is starting a business or pivoting out of or not happy in their career, whatever, like, there is so much in today's world, social media being one of them, that it's never been easier to monetize what you're good at. And I think some people don't take the time to realize all the things that come naturally to them. Like, you both should have online courses on, like, you know, the operations of startup and all these things, because it's funny, like, I have 2 big courses that I teach: how to build a Facebook community, the Success Academy, and those have become almost neck and neck with like our highest revenue. And it is something I've recorded once. I put it out there to the world. I did it once, and it's going to sell now for the next 10, 20, however many years.
On Coach Space?
No, on Boston Businesswomen.
Just people buy like on a platform, like a community. What is it?
It's
like
all on our website. I open it up once a year in October, and we start in January. And what I'm saying is, like, automate. There's such a beautiful world of automations out there. Like, it truly is easier than ever to make money and to monetize your expertise. So I think a lot of people don't even see that as a revenue source, or like some people come into my Success Academy as a real estate agent, and then they come out being like, I'm a mom of 4 boys and I'm an expert in raising children. Like, I now have courses in that, and that's become bigger than my revenue as a real estate. And now I have more time with my kids. And so I think it's just going back to that clarity. Like, what do you want? What's the life you want to live? What's the legacy you want to leave behind?
Yes.
How much money do you even need to make?
Right. Well, I was just going to say that
life.
Because, like, for me, like, I'm doing the most, like, at all times. Like, I give 100% to my kids, I give 100% to my team, and I give 100% to myself at all times.
Good. I was hoping you were going to say that.
always to my, like, that's number one. But for me, I don't feel like I had a conversation with someone recently. It was a private conversation, but the individual was a billionaire, and we were talking about Sleepy Tie and like where it could go. And this individual confided in me saying that they were happiest when they weren't a billionaire, and when they were much, 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 much smaller.
I believe it.
And it's funny. It's like that resonated with me really deeply, because I was like, what do I want? It's not money. It's really not what it is. Is it comfortability? Absolutely. I want to live a comfortable life, but it's not also endless growth.
Right.
It's not. And I think for anybody listening, like, it doesn't mean go start a business either. Like, I think we can all agree.
For sure.
That's a skill set.
Not everyone should be an entrepreneur.
Not everyone should be an entrepreneur. And I think it's just like the clarity, the meditation, the reflection. What do I want to be? What do I want to do? What serves my higher self? What makes me feel good?
Yeah.
That's what we should be seeking.
For sure.
With everything.
I went on like a very, very, very intensive 7-day retreat before I said, before I become a mom, this is what I want to do.
Love that.
I had some tough stuff I grew up with, and I wanted to just fully feel healed from, and it's called Path Retreats. There's no affiliation. Like, I was like, can I be an affiliate? Because I'm literally going to tell everyone I ever meet in my entire life about this, because it literally changed who I was at the core. But where am I going with that? A big question that they ask you is, what is your heart longing for? And like, if you really, really, really sit with that question and come back to it often, personally, professionally, like that question, for me at least, allows me to get really vulnerable with.
I know my answer.
Yeah.
Time. That's it for me. I want quality time with the people I love. That's literally what I want.
Yeah.
In beautiful settings.
Beautiful.
That's it. That's what I want.
That's happiness.
Yeah. And that also means work to me, because I love the people I work with, and I love doing this with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't just invite anyone on the podcast. Like today, this is, I'm happy.
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree with time.
I'm happy, and I like what we're doing today. And I'm okay with leaving my girls with somebody else today to have this conversation with you guys, because I enjoy it. And
what's your answer?
Sally? I feel like it changes as I'm evolving and changing. Just like a constant inner peace, the peace that I've found in my life. I don't, even if the businesses grow, or just keeping that inner peace no matter my outside circumstances.
Understood. Right. Yeah, that's an ever evolving process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And there's probably many more things, and even things that are so private that I'm not even ready to share.
Absolutely.
And I think that some things are also, I've learned, like, I I heal by sharing and I heal by writing. Like that's just my natural flow in life, and other people, you know, resonate with that, and hopefully it helps other people too. But I've learned as I get older, some things are sacred, and like that's
it's
a
true.
first for me. I usually share absolutely everything.
That's a hard lesson learned.
Yeah.
Sometimes keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you were saying.
I used to talk a lot. I mean, I still talk a lot, but I've learned to listen more and be
Listen
quiet
more than you speak.
Yeah.
Namaste.
That's definitely a lesson.
We have 2 ears, 1 mouth.
Right. We can learn a lot from the people we're around, even the summer interns, like, you know, just everyone. And I've just learned to really take that into.
Yeah, well, I think that goes into other topics we've discussed on this podcast too, where it's like, who do you surround yourself with? Mm-hmm. You know, what energies are you soaking in?
I have 2 or 3 friends, and like I'm okay saying that. Like, yes, I want my
Same.
We've been talking about moving forever. It's a freaking nightmare, you know. But I'm not going to put that out there. Actually, we will be finding our dream
Cancel
home
clear.
in the next.
Oh my
year.
God,
Thank
there's
you.
a home in
Does
Framingham.
that take it out of
Yes,
the universe?
it says
There's
cancel
a home
clear.
in Framingham I'm obsessed
Really?
with.
There's a really good one.
We're
obsessed
open
with
to
it.
Metro West. My sister's in Metro
I'm gonna
West.
send it to you.
So
I'm
thank
gonna send
you.
it to
We
you.
have the
Cancel,
best
actually,
real
she
estate
would
agent.
No, I
Shout out
literally
to
said,
Mian.
Mian.
She's the best. Mian.
Mian's the real estate agent of Parlor.
She's the
now
best.
She's gonna have to listen to this.
Oh, she's coming on the podcast soon. She's excited.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, whatever. We've talked about a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
This has been a really good episode. I think
Yeah.
there's been a lot.
I've learned a lot from this conversation.
A lot of info.
Me too.
I really enjoyed talking to both of you because I think it's just about, you know, being real.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Well, we've enjoyed talking to you, Rach.
Oh, thank you. I've really,
to-
really,
back to
really
you, Bob.
I love this dynamic duo, and I can't
Back
wait
to you,
see where
Bob.
this goes.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
and
you for
for
having me, guys.
unleashing your wisdom, especially, you know, like you have so much going on. We appreciate your time and we respect you and love you and can't wait to
guys.
support
Love
you
you so
forever.
much.
We love you.
So fun.
Thank you for everything.